If you're a fan of free-to-play anime games, if you really like open world games, but you hate gacha, then I think Tower Fantasy might be the perfect fit for you. That might sound like a crazy statement, especially to people who play gacha games. Tower Fantasy does not have the best reputation. It basically played like Genshin Impact with less polish, but better combat. It's a sci-fi themed, anime-inspired, open-world MMO RPG. It was highly ambitious, had some good ideas, but it was completely unpolished, buggy, and unoptimized. They really fumbled the bag because there was a lot of people playing this game at the time, and while the game did fall off, there was a reason that people were interested in this game, including me. If there's one thing I can give the developers of this game, it's that they are very creative devs, highly ambitious. They have a lot of very good ideas, especially in this open world anime gacha space. In my personal opinion, some of the best ideas have come out of this company, and they don't really get the credit for that. Like for instance, they were one of the first open world gachas where you could create your own character, but you can also play as the limited characters you roll. It's really up to you, whichever one you prefer, and you can switch at any time, which is a cool feature. Also, the characters you roll are also weapons, so you don't have to roll for a weapon. The character and the weapon come in one, which is a pretty cool way to do the gacha. But then again, you had to roll for artifacts technically, so that kind of sucks. They were also the first to add underwater swimming to open world gachas. I don't know if that's a big deal to you guys, but I'm just throwing that out there. They were also the first to announce deleting the gacha, which I highly respect. Out of all these gacha gaming companies that are talking about removing the gacha, they were the first. They were also the first of any of these open world gacha games to add artifact presets, which is basically preset builds, which might not sound like a big deal to people who don't play these games, but trust me, that's a big deal. In this game is similar to Genshin, but the combat kind of plays like a prototype to Wuthering Waves. The way ultimates work in this game is kind of how intro skills work in that game, if anybody's ever played Wuthering Waves. But yeah, it's basically your standard open world gacha combat. You got your light attacks, your heavy attacks, your skills, and in this game, you don't actually switch characters, you just switch weapons, so you keep the same character model while using different weapons. And basically as you attack and do damage and other things, you'll build up a meter around your weapons, and once that meter is full, you can switch to either weapon to perform that weapon's special attack. There's also the relic system where they just add all sorts of gadgets that would help you in fights or just moving around the map. Movement was a big thing in this game. It had mounts. There was a lot of tech for you to get around the map pretty fast. And I'm not gonna lie, some of these SSR units they've added in have some crazy movement, but I cannot glaze because it's locked behind a paywall. So I guess I'll talk about that in the Warped server. But for now, it's locked behind a paywall, so I can't really give them props for this Attack on Titan crossplay they got going on. This is a fire weapon. This is one of the funnest weapons I've played in a gacha game, bro. I'm like bro, I feel like I'm Levi. You see this shit? Basically, you get the idea. They have a lot of good ideas. I mean, the reason I even started playing the game again is because I saw some videos online of people flying mechs. Still haven't gotten my mech yet, but I'm excited. Also, there's some hidden gems with the OST in this game. Like, I know it's easy to say the OST is good in any Japanese RPG, but like, damn son, where'd you find this? You know what I mean? But if I had to jot down the number one reason I enjoy this game is the sheer scope of it all. Now, I won't say that this game isn't bloated because I feel like it kind of is. There's just so many maps and they're so wide and they're full of repetitive puzzles. But even regardless of all that, I just like the scope of it all. I really feel like I'm traveling from different planets to different planets. It has to be one of the biggest open worlds in a video game because they make these giant planets, then they add maps within the planets, and then they add more planets. There's so much content in this game. And low-key, I don't even have to do all the puzzles because there's a mechanic where you can auto farm the maps. You just put your characters in an auto farming tab and they passively farm the map for you, which is a cool feature. And yeah, I just enjoy the scope of it all, even if it's not the most polished video game and it might not be the most graphically demanding game. I do believe the art design in this game is like really well done. Sometimes I'm actually blown away by some of the art design in this game. It's not even that it's just so amazing, it's just there's so much of it. Like, let me explain what I mean. So I was going through the story of this game, which is impossible to follow, by the way. I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm going through the story of this game, and I go from being in this grassy, post-apocalyptic Genshin-inspired area to teleporting to the middle of the desert. Then all of a sudden, I find a giant city inside a pyramid. It's basically cyberpunk themed, which is one of my favorite areas, by the way. Then from there, I end up in the Dark Abyss, basically that place where Obito transports everything. That was basically the area. That's the best way to describe it. I'm in the Kamui zone, guys. From the Dark Abyss, I emerge in some tropical island area with water everywhere, beyond my eye could see, and then I end up diving into the ocean, deep into this lava area, getting sucked into a black hole, and then getting isekai'd into ancient Chinaland. Like, what is this story? I almost wish I knew what was going on. The whole experience was a bit surreal. Like, that's the best way I could put it. Joeltown is low-key one of my favorite places in the game. There's something so ethereal and surreal about this map that just had me, and the music, it was just like, whoa, where the fuck am I? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not to mention, there was a ton of endgame, from casual mini games to co-op raids, as well as events. One thing I can say is that there was always something for me to do in this video game. And so if I spent all this time talking about all this good stuff about the game, then why did it fall off? What took Tower Fantasy down? Well, the easiest way I could put it is greed and incompetence. Not only was the game super laggy, super buggy, it was extremely easy for people to break the game, to hack other people, to hack free weapons that other people were paying good money for. There were tons of glitches in the gameplay. It was just a severely unpolished product. The UI on PlayStation is almost unusable. There were times, even as I just got back into the game, where the menu would just bug out and I would just shut the game off out of frustration. It probably had some of the most blatant power creep that I've ever seen in any anime game ever. Like, early units, you could get them to max constellation C6, and then a new character would just double their damage at C0 or whatever, S0. It was very out of control. Another thing is they did not give you nearly enough resources to upgrade what you needed to upgrade. Not to mention, there was overly ridiculous and convoluted ways to upgrade your character's strength. Like, I don't know, if there's one thing they should have copied from Genshin and other games in that genre, is just the simple upgrade your weapon, upgrade your artifacts, or they're called matrices in this game, and just leave it at that. But no, you have to get gear in this game, and then you have to min-max that gear, and there's ways to augment gear. And the thing is, you need gold to do any of this, not to mention upgrading your weapons. It was almost out of the question to upgrade new weapons, and you know, part of a gacha is to have fun with the new weapon. The MMO side and the gacha side were clashing hardcore. Gachas are usually casual games that you spend a couple hours in, or maybe you spend some money in to alleviate the grind, while MMOs are all about the grind. And it just took the worst of both worlds. I low-key think the gacha also killed the co-op, because you had the whales and the free-to-plays, which were in completely different leagues. Like, even the strongest, most dedicated free-to-play was nothing compared to the most average whale. So as a free-to-play, you were pretty much stuck being a healer, or you could be a fake DPS that did no damage compared to everybody else who's paying. A lot of co-op at the beginning consisted of like 3 people showing up to get carried by the whale. At least that's how I remember it. And now the game is so dead that people have been playing for a long time pretty much solo content. Newer players solo content because they got no one to play with. I will say the small community is pretty active, and if you just ask them for help, they'll help you. They want as much people to play this game as possible. So they're very open. Like, I will be in the world chat and there's people constantly asking, does anybody need help? Does anybody need help? Like, they really want you to like this game. So respect to the community. All it takes is a dead gacha community for it to turn wholesome. Once you get a bunch of people in the community, then it turns toxic to all hell. But that's neither here or there. The insane grind to maintain an MMO character mixed with the insane power creep and FOMO of gacha was a terrible mix. And it was just something you could not expect an average Joe to not only understand, but to just go along with. There's just too many layers, barriers of entry that would stop anybody from playing this game even if they were interested. And I haven't even talked about the story. There's a point in this game at the beginning of the story where they just fast forward you through like 2 arcs out of nowhere at the beginning of the game. In order to catch you up to the rest of the player base and to get you to your dailies, they kind of skip a good portion of the story. When the crazy thing is, an easy way to save this issue is just push the daily unlock to an earlier point in the story. You know what I mean? Like, I think you should unlock your dailies the moment you get to High Cross. It's just common sense, like the first 5 minutes of the game. Another issue I had playing this game, I'm an Evangelion fan. I heard this game had an Ava collab, which, you know, isn't that crazy in gacha spaces. Ava has almost as much collabs as Nier, but as a fan, I went to check it out. Started off pretty cool. There's a crazy cutscene, a cool set piece mech fight that I had to like experience while I'm running through the desert. But then I get to meeting Asuka and Shinji, and they're not voice acted. I switched the language from English to Japanese. There's no voice. They couldn't even hire some D-team voice actor to pretend to be Shinji for this collab. Am I missing something? This is crazy. This is crazy. So I was disappointed in that, and I stopped playing that story quest. But it's just stuff like that that held this game back from being a true competitor to the other gacha games. Like the other day, I had a daily at the bottom of the ocean in this lava area that would like burn me the moment I went down there. And I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going on with this game. Why are you sending me dailies at the bottom of a volcano? Like, what is going on with this game? But I'm hoping the fact that they're getting rid of the gacha might make the game better. I've already heard good things from the CN community that's already playing it. So we'll just have to see with that. So there you have it. That's my opinion of Tower of Fantasy, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Studio with a good ideas, but lacks the polish to stick the landing. I honestly think this game never should have been a gacha in the first place. Clearly a game that wants you to stay on it for a while. Clearly made for true gamers who love the grind. And I'm just happy I have a Genshin alternative that I can play for more than an hour a day. That's all I got. Let me know how you guys feel. Are you guys excited for the server on November 25th? Truthfully, I would just wait till that comes out to try this game. I'm gonna miss Aster. But how do you guys feel about the game? Are you willing to give it another chance? That's all I got. Peace.